Warning. The following content is intended for immature audiences only. The opinions of these two fine gentlemen should not be taken seriously at all.
The JTS 51 Podcast. Introducing your hosts, JT and Sai.
Hello and welcome to episode 8 of the JTS 51 podcast. Introducing myself, your host JT, and my colleague, my co-host, my partner in crime, Sai. Sai, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, not so bad. Not partner in crime just yet, but we'll give it time, right?
Yeah, we got to plan a few crimes first, mate, for that to happen. No. How you been, mate? All good? How's your week been?
Not so bad. Yeah, not so bad. It's funny, just before we started this, my son poked his head around the corner, didn't he, to say hello?
Yes, he did.
I think he got a bit camera shy, but you two were talking about cocoa melon. I was just like, right, I've had enough. I've had enough.
I was trying to get him I was trying to bait him to say something about cocoa melon. You know, last podcast he was saying how much he hates it, so yeah, it would have been really interesting. But yeah, he got a bit camera shy, I think. Well, to be fair, he's meeting a stranger for the first time on the
this is true. Funny thing was though, you mentioned the fun sucker, and the first what did he do? He just did the impression of the kid, and he just go, "Wah!"
Yeah, imitated him. Perfection. That was brilliant. Oh man, that was good.
But yeah. Otherwise doing all right. You?
All good, mate. All good. Busy working, and then looking forward to our podcast Thursdays to record. So yeah, mate. Bloody hell. I was just gonna say, have you watched anything interesting on the telly this week?
I haven't watched much because I don't watch much TV, but I heard there's some bits and pieces kicking off with the old Celebrity Jungle.
Oh, mate, yeah, deep in Australia. So, yeah, me and my missus have been watching I'm A Celeb, right? So I've been watching it for about a week and a half now. It's not something I used to watch at all a few years back, but then I think one day it was starting, there was a lot of kind of hype about it, so I thought, yeah, let me chuck it on, let me see what it's about. Obviously, well, you know what it's about, right? You get like, you know, B, C, D list celebrities jumping on to earn a bit of cash, but the stuff they got to do to earn that cash is absolutely crazy. So so I'm a Celebrity, so watched it from the beginning this time. I'm really enjoying it, to be fair. It's just watching these poor guys and girls like go into the jungle, absolute misery, sleeping in like really bad conditions. They're always sleeping outdoors. They're deep in the jungle, which is quite crazy. I thought it was always a set, to be honest, when I first started watching it, because they host the places where all the campmates are. It's always in the same place every year.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a bit of a set, but I think all it is that they've covered up a little bit of the jungle for them to sleep, and they're sleeping on hammocks. They're sleeping on the floor. Like, it is absolutely mental. And you know. For anyone that doesn't know what the show is, basically you get a bunch of celebrities get paid to go in the jungle for a couple of weeks. I think it's like a month, and they get put through absolute hell. Absolute hell. Side they need to earn their food, so they need to do these tasks and trials, and they got to earn stars, and depending on those stars, that's what kind of meal you get. So you normally get about 12 campmates at the beginning of the series, and then you need to earn basically like 12 stars, and if you get all 12 stars, then everyone gets a decent portion of food, and it's like exotic food. It's not just like your normal chicken, lamb, beef,
pizza,
pork. None of that, mate. Honestly, it's like bloody, I don't know, yesterday they had some kind of black bird that it was like literally pitch black, and it was fully dead with their head, everything not defeathered or anything like that, mate. They had a llama steak, apparently. They had crocodile feet like last week.
How do they know how to cook this stuff, or do they just hope that one of the celebrities just rock up and just like, yep, I can cook feet of a crocodile. Don't you worry, I got this.
No, that's it. I don't think anyone's prepared for those exotic meats, mate. But I think in this series they got a guy called Fred. Fred is from First Dates. He's the host.
I know Fred.
Yeah, really nice guy.
Well, I don't know Fred, but I know Fred or Fred.
yeah, he's a really nice guy, to be fair, and he's actually a brilliant chef, apparently. So anything that comes in, despite them only having like, you know, rice and beans as their base meal, that's all they get. If they don't get any stars, they only can eat rice and beans. But they get some things in, and he's been cooking up a storm, mate. Like his food's been really, really good. So I think they normally find a couple of celebs that can cook, or have some kind of cooking experience. But yeah, it is mental, mate. It's absolutely crazy.
Wasn't he in that thing with Gordon Ramsay and
Gino Campo?
That's it. Yeah. And they went on. They've been on a couple of different road trips and things. I've watched bits of that show. That's brilliant. Yeah.
Do you know what? It's on my watch list. I haven't watched it, but I know that's going to be quite funny because I do watch Gordon Ramsay's stuff like Kitchen Nightmares and all that kind of stuff, and I love that show. Honestly, he just goes to some shit restaurants. He goes in, he completely critiques them, and then every single show is the same, mate. Honestly, he goes in, he cusses the bloody owner, the waiting staff, and then basically he gets to run it for a few days. And what he does is, like, during the night, he completely revamps the hotel, retrains the staff, and then he runs it, and it's successful again. And it follows that's every single episode. That's what happens.
What I think is brilliant about that show is that, okay, the cooking side of thing, I get it. Like, he's a great chef. His taste is supposed to be brilliant, and but the bits that I've seen of that show is even the fundamentals they get wrong. Like, me and you could do it. Like, they walk in there and he's like, "Why have you got dead rats in the bottom of your fridge?" Just
big
like,
time.
what are you doing?
Time.
Yeah.
And they're frozen to shit, right? And then the owner will be like, "Oh, they weren't here yesterday."
Yeah, I've seen that.
He's like, "Why are you talking
How old are
shit?
these pickles?" I don't know. I put them there yesterday. They're like 10 years out of date.
Honestly, it is hilarious. Honestly, I love it. It's one of my guilty pleasures. So I think it comes on like Channel 4 or E4 like every now and then. And it's bloody brilliant because every episode is exactly the same. He walks in, the owner does not like him, like straight off the bat, hates him. They clash, they start swearing at each other. One of them threatens to walk off the show. They come back. It's a whole redemption story from start to finish. And then by the end of the episode, the owner loves Gordon, and he's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe I was so hesitant to bring him in, and he's changed my life." And then the funniest thing is, I ended up Googling a few of these restaurants, right, that he's been to and he's turned around.
Yeah.
And some of them have closed down like a few weeks after. It's just not happened. It's just not gone well for them. So yeah, no, it is a great show. It's one of my guilty pleasures. But yeah, this Fred guy, he's actually one of my favourites on there. He's been so nice guy. I knew he was a nice guy before because I think my missus watches that show, the First Dates. Like, I've seen her watch it a couple of times, so I know he's a nice guy. But yeah, his it's weird, right? Because these celebrities, you don't know them, right? Unless they're on like something where you get a lot of exposure to them, you don't really know them. But once they just step in the jungle, you actually see a very like human side from them.
Yeah,
I don't know if that makes sense, but it's like you get to know them a little bit more. And yeah, the biggest celebrity to go in, I think this time was Nigel Farage.
Yes, yeah, I think
massive hoo-ha.
I think it's telling when you see these celebrities, because usually, actually, let's go back a few years. Usually, you'd have a whole media crew managing their exposure to the public, right? So you could have arseholes and they were protected. And then we've seen bits and pieces of celebrities because TikTok is now a thing. So you get celebrities just, sending out, not TikTok, Twitter, sorry, sending out ridiculous messages and then getting absolutely slated. They go, "No, I'll delete that one. I'll delete that one." Yeah,
100%.
But then I think, the jungle and Big Brother and stuff like that, you actually see the true people. See people for truly how they are.
Do you know what it is as well? It's that basically it's still a bit tricky because we don't know, and this goes with all reality TV shows, where the contestant is on there like the whole time. You've got Love Island, you've got Big Brother, all that kind of stuff. We only see what the producers want you to see.
100%.
So it's not a case of you're being shown what's like naturally happening. You're getting shown what the producers kind of want you to see in terms of they're trying to produce a narrative, a storyline, and the producers are producing so clever nowadays, mate. You can actually force a kind of storyline in your direction just by showing certain things. So yeah, no, it's I do take it with a pinch of salt, but yeah, it is. I'm not gonna lie, mate. I am glued to it every night, 9 p.m. I do turn it on and watch it. It's really good. But yeah, I remember last week, and this caused a bit of a stir, mate. So I was on social media after an episode. I was just talking to my missus when this happened. So there's a YouTube personality called Nella Rose, right? And she's really funny, right? I've seen some of her videos. She's very popular in the YouTube scene, the kind of young YouTube scene. She does a lot of vlogs. She's on a couple of kind of YouTube kind of game shows, if you know what I mean. She's got some affiliations with like Foot Locker and all that kind of stuff. But she runs around with quite a few other YouTube groups, so she's well known. So it's interesting to see her go in. But there was one argument, and people will know exactly what I'm talking about. Last week, where Fred, the guy from from First Dates, not 50 Dates, First Dates, he said, "Oh, Nella, how old are you?" And she said 27, and he goes, "I feel old." And she goes to him, "How old are you?" And he goes, "Oh, I'm 51." And she goes, "You're not old." He goes, "It is old." He goes, "Look at me." He goes, "I could be your dad."
Yeah.
And she's like, "What?" He goes, "I could be your dad." And Nella then walks off angry, like it was so weird. Like no one could see that happening. Me and my missus just looked at each other like, what the hell just happened? What? He didn't say anything out of order. She didn't say anything out of order. What's happened there? She goes off in a huff and puff, sits down, gets upset. And then she goes, "Oh my God, I hate Fred. I don't want to talk to him anymore," to another campmate. And we're like, what the hell just happened? And then apparently she was offended by Fred saying, "I could be your dad." And everyone in the world knows exactly what he meant. I'm old enough to be your dad. I'm 51, you're 27.
Yep.
I feel old. I could be old enough to be your dad, right? That's what he said. I know you didn't say it in those words. He kind of said, "I could be your dad." But you know what context he's going for, right? And she ended up really like getting pissed off with him, and it was so baffling because she threw a whole different story on it, saying, you know, she's unfortunately lost, I think, both of her parents, and she found it insensitive that he said, "I could be your dad," or "I'm old enough to be your dad." And everyone that I know, you know, my missus included, everyone online absolutely piled on her, like saying, "What an absolute idiot! Like, why is she taking that out of context? Why has she made Fred look like a dickhead?" It was really bad. And then the next morning, Nella didn't speak to Fred. Fred actually got up to her and said, "You know, is everything okay, Nella?" She's like, "No." And she goes, "What's wrong?" And he goes, "Well, you said this yesterday." He goes, Then he ended up apologising to her, saying, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to offend you, but that's not what I meant at all." And oh mate, it went on, and it just seemed like on social media anyway, it just seemed like the whole nation just flipping piled on Nella Rose for being a bit stupid. I agree with her, to be fair. I obviously I don't like dragging anyone down, but I thought that was well out of order, because first, you got upset over something that, yes, I get it, but that's not what you meant. And B, then you made him feel like shit. And then she ended up by saying, "Oh, do you know what? We don't have to be friends. I don't have to talk to you, but we can coexist here." Baffling. Absolutely baffling.
I think it's disappointing, isn't it? It's one of those things that, right, I'd not seen the clip, but my missus recounted a very similar story. And
fair enough.
And like I say, I don't know. I've seen Fred in these bits and pieces, but even if I didn't know him, so the fact that he had apologised, and even if, like, we've all had the situation where you've been in a conversation with somebody said something, you've had a bit of an argument, you need a little bit of time to cool off. Perhaps you can't accept the apology straight away, but at some point you're like, you know, all right, perhaps I was a bit of a dick. This person has apologised. All right, let's just brush it off. All right, is what it is. I took it the wrong way. You said this, I took it the wrong way, blah, 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 off it goes. But, yeah, to stick to your guns and claim that it was a spiteful and all this, I don't know. We're in a funny place, aren't we? Everybody's offended by everything.
And people get offended on other people's behalf as well. It is crazy, mate, honestly. And I just felt bad for Fred. I think most of the nation actually felt bad for Fred, where they said, "You've just made the poor guy, you know, feel really shit about himself," when he didn't even say anything that bad. He just said, "Look, I'm old enough to be your dad." Is that really a bad thing to say? No. You know, he's actually taking the piss out of himself, saying, I'm so old. Yeah. You know, I feel so old. Like, I don't know, mate. Honestly, it was you know, I don't know, mate. Honestly, it was like too much. Me and my missus, like, literally saying, we had to pause it and say, "Hold on, have I missed something here?" Like, what's going on? Do you know, where was the offence in that? Oh.
Do you know, the other side to that is, right, you think of the people that he hangs out with, right? So he's got Gordon Ramsay in there. He isn't backwards and coming forwards. Gino DeCampo, he could be, I know he mucks about, but I think he could be quite stern as well. And
straightforward, straight talking,
And obviously the industry Fred's from, he's used to dealing with proper celebs with a lot of power, a lot of money and whatnot, compared to this Nella Rose person. So absolutely. If he wanted to, I'm pretty sure that he could have been completely savage back. I bet he had about 50 comebacks in the bag, and he was probably chuckling
100%.
to himself going, I can't say that, I can't say that, I can't say that.
100%.
And he just walked off.
Do you know what it is?
And I reckon that's it.
agree,
Because
mate,
if you're hanging out with Gordon Ramsay, there's no way you
Yeah.
don't have 50 comebacks ready to go.
Imagine she'd done that with Gordon Ramsay. Oh my god, can you imagine? It would have been absolute pandemonium. I'll tell you what though. You know what the thing is, right? Because he's such a nice guy, and this was literally early in the show side. This was the second day.
Yeah.
It was ridiculously early, and everyone really felt for Fred because even during those 2 days, like he came across so genuine, really caring, almost like a father figure to everyone in there. Like he was taking care of people, cooking. He even said, "Look, guys, I'm more than happy to cook for everyone." No problem. And if anyone was upset, he would pick them up and all that kind of stuff, right? So straight away she started off on the wrong foot, and then now, because the nation hates her, they're voting her to do every single trial every single day. Like, it's so sad. Oh man, it's been absolutely unbelievable. And speaking of their trials, mate, these trials are absolutely savage, mate. They're called the Bush Tucker trials, right? And yeah, it's absolutely crazy. So I'll just give you an example of what they do. So there was like a food challenge. We did mention pizzas earlier, mate, but these are made pizzas, but
Yeah.
it was the toppings you wouldn't believe, mate. Honestly, fermented camel penises and like llama anuses, and like, do you know what I mean? And it just goes worse and worse from there. Like obviously I said crocodile feet earlier, but oh man, like they had like some really disgusting things, man. Like they had oh bloody hell, they had like all these types of meats, and I'm just thinking they're like, when I was younger, right, when I first heard of the show and I heard all the stuff they used that people had to eat, yeah, I'm talking like boar testicles and stuff like that. I'm like, where the fuck is this poor boar running around with no testicles? Or like, where's this camel with no arse? Like, what is going on here? Then I realised, like, oh my god, obviously they're killing these animals and taking the bits off. But yeah, it's just like unbelievable, man. Some of the stuff they have to eat, it's just, oh mate, like, I just thinking about it makes me gag.
Do you know what the best part about this though? I've just thought about it, right?
Yeah.
So you think about what we do for a living. Somebody
Yeah.
on that show has to be sitting there with a spreadsheet going, right, I need to order a dog's testicle
Yeah.
pizza. I need to order a cow's anus souffle.
That's right. There is 100%.
Yeah.
There is like a boardroom meeting, right? They're like, right, guys, we need to get this. Let's get this challenge done. Right, what do we need? What's on the menu, Sam? Right, let's get. Let's get. Do you know what I mean? Let's get a neck of a camel. Let's get the liver of a crocodile. We definitely need a donkey's anus. Absolutely, that's staple. We definitely need that. A penis? Should we chuck in a penis in there? Yeah, why not? Testicles? Yep. No doubt. Let's get the testicles. It's just crazy, right? And then they have to go out and get these things. Do you know what I mean? They probably have a.
Oh, and
That's
then
the
the
worst
chef on the show, he goes home to his wife or husband, whatever it is, right? How was your day? What'd you get up to today? Well,
Nice. Not bad, yeah. Ordered about 7 anuses today from a camel. It's like going to the butcher. Yeah, can I get a pound of camel anus, please? Do you know what I mean? That's crazy, man.
we had to order in some new blenders because the donkey dicks, they're a bit chewy, so they burnt out the motor.
They had to blend
get
it,
a new one in there.
yeah.
Oh, mate.
Yeah, they had to do that as well. So there was a kind of like a milkshake challenge basically where they got like, oh mate, some of the things they had to list, like a cockroach milkshake where they got blended like, I don't know, like 20 or 30 cockroaches and put it in. I'm not sure what the bloody ingredient was they mix it in with. It looked like an Oreo milkshake, I'm not gonna lie, with the little bits in, but it was like, yeah, you got to down it in one. And I'm thinking, these guys are unbelievable. These guys are like, to do that, and you can tell like it's proper vile. But yeah, no, fair play to the celebs, man. Every penny they're earning for the show, they are literally earning it hard. My word.
I heard a random thing. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I was just going to say, basically, the funniest thing is, like, they got Nigel Farage on there, right? Who everyone knows, maddest guy, like, the most craziest opinions. And this might sound really stupid, Si, but I swear to God, I'm watching him, And I read all the stuff before, like this is propaganda. They're gonna try his PR team is working super hard to get him on the show and make him look good. Like they're gonna make ITV show him in a good light and all that kind of stuff. I completely get that, not a problem. But when Farage does talk, I kind of get where he's coming from. I'm not talking about all the racist stuff or like, you know, the pro-nationalist kind of stuff. But like he does seem like a guy who's doesn't shirk a challenge, mate. Like he's eating everything and drinking everything like an absolute pro. Like he's eating, if he's eating a donkey penis, he's doing it, mate. If he's eating pig's testicles, he's absolutely doing it. Like he's showing no remorse eating this stuff. It's absolutely crazy. Fair play to him having the balls to go on, not literally, but yeah, having the balls.
Well,
to go
literally
on
the balls to go on. He's eating the balls.
Do you know what I mean? He's eating the balls. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, mate, yeah. But it's it's been really, really interesting. Really interesting. Like seeing Farage on there, and the funniest thing is, right, you've got Farage on the show, but to make yourself a public enemy number one, Nella Rose done a heck of a job becoming the most hated person on that show when you got Nigel Farage on that show.
Do you know, it's a funny thing, Nigel. Now, I don't know where my opinion sits with him, because when we were doing the whole Brexit thing, there was clearly a what's the word? They were clearly trying to build a picture of this guy, okay, painting them in a bad light, okay. Recently, I've seen a lot of interviews on him just because he's been on some of the channels that I've been watching, okay. And I think what I find interesting is he's made it pretty high in the game that he's in, and he never shirks away from answering a question. You might not like his answer, but he never shirks away from answering it, or I haven't seen it. And I can't speak to many other politicians that don't answer a question. Like, it'll be very obvious. You know, you see these chat shows, they'll have, you know, whoever the Prime Minister is, or, you know, some other cabinet minister or something or other. They'll ask them a very yes or no question, and they'll just skirt around it and dance around it and stuff like that. And I would, in some ways, rather have somebody that will say it straight but an answer that I don't like, than they know the answer and will refuse to say it. So I don't know where I sit with him at the minute.
Yeah, they'll answer a question with a question. They never get to the actual answer. Yeah, and that's like a age old kind of politician's kind of playbook, you know what I mean? But I'm not gonna lie to you, so basically with Farage as well, like he's been on the show and Brexit has come up like straight away, like within a day. Like, they got loads of time to kill, right? So these kind of things come up, and like I said, fair play to him. Look, we might not agree with what he says, we might not like him as a person, but at the end of the day, he does stand up, he does speak his mind, and he does articulate it very well, like how he feels. Like it's quite crazy. So there's been instances where people have talked to him about Brexit, and the way he answers, I respect it, because he's not shirking away from his beliefs. He's saying, you know, Brexit was like, someone questioned him on Brexit straight away, and he just said, look, I felt like these are the stats, this is what I was told, I felt like this will be the way forward. So but yeah, like he never shirks it. And like I said, even with the trials, this is not meant to be like a Nigel Farage fan club podcast, but it's like, whatever he's done on the show, he's actually backing it up with actually effort, like doing the challenges and talking the talk as well, as in like talking what he believes. He's not shirking away from it, and he's been very respectful. Like the craziest thing is, the image that I had of Nigel Farage in my head was like, he's just some prick that, you know, loves Brexit and wants to, you know, do all that stuff. But on the show, and I don't know if it's PR machine or I don't know if it's ITV producers doing this, but yeah, he comes across as quite a genuine person in terms of he knows what he believes in, and he articulates it quite well. You might, like I said, you might not agree with it, but he's coming across as quite well. And this is what people were scared of before he went in, that they're going to try and humanise Nigel Farage. And it's kind of working, even to me. It's kind of working. I'm like, bloody hell.
Do you know what's strange about it is that I don't know if I've heard anything recently that he said that I would... I'm not saying that I would disagree with it, but that he can't back it up with a statistic or a reason, or his explanation makes sense. And I think that's a telling sign. You know, and this goes back to answering a question straight. And like I say, everything that I've seen him in recently, I don't think a lot of the stuff he's saying is unreasonable. Hang on, this podcast has taken a turn for the worst. Back onto it, right?
We've gone political.
I'll lighten it up and just say the whole thing about eating bugs. Go buy some cheap peanut butter. I believe there's a certain amount of bugs in that. There you go. There
is. Oh, I've read that before. There's a certain tolerance.
Trials. There you go.
Like,
test is
it like 7%? Like out of 100% peanut butter, 7% of it could be bugs or something like that. Oh no. Yeah, I read that report. I remember reading about that. That was crazy. Even chocolate. I think chocolate has a certain amount that's allowed in America. I think it's like 3% could be anything from fucking mice or rat poo to bloody flies or something. Do you know what I mean? So it's never 100% chocolate. Ah,
Yummy.
hope you're not hungry, listeners. Oh no, yeah, no. You know what? It's good. I enjoy I'm A Celeb. It's been pretty good, to be fair. Ant and Dec, oh my days, they make me laugh so hard. They obviously they're the presenters of the show, and they flip back to them like during before and after the adverts, so they always have some stand-up comedy going on.
Yeah.
It's like proper dad joke humor, and I love it. I genuinely laugh out loud. I'm not just breathing hard through my nostrils when I'm watching them. I'm actually laughing out loud. So yeah, I do love the show. It's a good show. So yeah, I recommend it to anyone.
Yeah, I mean, they're on the top of their game, aren't they? They have been for a while. I mean, I know, I can never remember which one's which, but one of them had an alcohol problem and had to stand down for a little while, but he seems to have bounced back all right. Yeah. And to be fair, they're good at what they do, hey?
They absolutely are. That's why they're wanted everywhere. You got like all the ITV shows. You got I'm A Celeb. You've got Britain's Got Talent, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, they're like the face of their show. So yeah, they're doing well. I think it was Ant. Ant is the guy that is it Ant? Yeah, I think it's Ant. That had the problem. So yeah, it was Ant. Yeah, Ant was the guy that had the problem. So yeah, he actually it was weird. Like 2 years ago, I think it was, he couldn't do the show, so they had to draft someone else in while he was in recovery. So yeah, but now he seems okay now. Are you okay? Doing well?
I'll tell you, it shows you how much I don't watch of TV, and then really I think I was talking to my missus the other day, and I think I referred to them as PJ and Duncan. She just started laughing.
PJ and Duncan, yes. Let's get ready to rumble. They made that joke, actually. They made that joke yesterday. It was really funny. So I think there's a guy on Hollyoaks, right? He's played the same character for 20 years, over 20 years. And his name is Tony in the show, and he accidentally called him Tony yesterday while he was doing a trial. So they made it like after the break. They went back to them in the studio, and I think Dec called Aunt PJ. So yeah, just like just take the piss at each other on the fly, which is great. I love that kind of stuff. If you can laugh at yourself, mate, you're winning. You know what I mean?
It's strange how some actors get stuck into a specific job like forever. Because I remember, what was it? The American one, Saved by the Bell, and all the actors had left except for Screech. Yep. And he started in the original, and I think he was about 50 by the time he left. And it's so, come on.
He'd always be Screech, right? Yeah, I know what you mean, mate. I absolutely know what you mean. Bloody hell. It's like Slater. Do you remember AC Slater from Saved by the Bell?
I didn't know it that well. I just remember Screech vividly because he was sort of one of the main guys at the very beginning, wasn't he? He was one of the standout actors in it.
He was a nerd, wasn't he? Yeah, he was an absolute nerd. It's like people like Liam Neeson. Just he can't get away from those Taken type roles where someone's taken his family, and he has to go on a mad killing spree to get them back.
Oh, those are my favourite sort of movies. Oh, what was the one I watched the other day? Nobody. Oh. The chap.
Oh, I heard that's really good.
Oh yeah, it's so over the top and silly. I love it. Absolutely love it. It's I can't get enough of those type movies. I know exactly what's going to happen. I know they're just remakes of the same thing, but there's just no nonsense in it. It's just some old bloke that would definitely break himself if he tried to punch one person, but just ploughing through just armies of like goons. I love it. Absolutely,
hundreds of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have you seen The Equalizer with Denzel Washington?
Long time ago, really long time ago.
Oh, that's a great film. So I think 2 and 3 have come out now. So it's like an old guy who went off the grid, started a new life after his wife passed away, and he sees like injustice in front of him. He's working in like a hardware store, like as a normal guy, and then one day he sees this girl who's innocent, and like she's basically in like a diner. I'm not trying to spoil the whole film, but she's in a diner one day, and he can't sleep, so he goes like 2 a.m. He goes to this like diner every day because he misses his wife and whatever. So he's just reading a book in a diner. Sees one girl come in like day after day. He knows that she's up to no good, and one day she actually gets kidnapped and then and gets beaten up. Sorry. So then that's it. He goes on a mad rampage to take down this whole underground gang using all his skills. It's really good. I really enjoy it. But it's just like the same thing. The same thing that like Liam Neeson's in. it's just exactly that same scenario.
Do you know?
Mad.
I remember watching it a long time ago, and I think Denzel, he is absolutely phenomenal. As an actor, I think he's absolutely phenomenal, and I did enjoy the film, but I don't think I enjoyed it as much as films like Nobody, because he's such a good actor, and because he's such a serious actor, like a lot of the time, he can almost portray the part too well. Whereas when you watch things like John Wick with Keanu Reeves and Nobody with Bob, I can't remember his surname.
Odenkirk?
Yeah, that's it. Right. They're almost characters or sort of actors you wouldn't see in those roles. So when they do it, it's like, this is amazing. Like, you know the old,
what the hell?
Like the old 80s films where you'd have like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Stallone and that, just massacring everybody. I know that was the thing, but they were built like they should be able to do it. Yeah,
that's right.
But then when you see Bruce Willis doing it, he's not supposed to be able to do that. Like, this is amazing.
I know what you mean. Die Hard. Yeah. Oh, Die Hard is one of my favourite films. That's brilliant.
Love it.
With Bob Odenkirk. So he's a guy, if anyone doesn't know, he's a guy that plays Saul in Better Call Saul and plays Saul Goodman in Breaking Bad. Yep. So and he's always portrayed as like this weak, kind of scared guy that's very clever. But Nobody is actually on my list because the preview that I saw on Netflix, I was scrolling through my Netflix and that came up as recommended for you. And I was like, what's he doing in this film? And he's actually he's getting beaten up, but he's actually fighting back. Oh, brilliant. I will watch it. I'll let you know how I get on, mate. Honestly, really good.
At the end of that film is so ridiculous. It's brilliant. Oh, talking of, I meant to say this to you the other day.
Yeah.
Speaking of action movies, my mother-in-law came round a few months back for like a sleepover and stuff, and she was we were sitting down and my missus was like, oh, what should we watch, and she's like, oh, my mum, she was in the room, she's like, oh, my mum, she doesn't like action movies, she doesn't like gory stuff, she doesn't like horror, and there's me sitting there, I have no idea what we're going to watch.
That's the best stuff. Right. That's all the best things.
Anyway, so we flick onto Extraction. We're just flicking through the list, and we just sort of go on to Extraction, and there is was it Chris Hemsworth? Is that him? I'm terrible with actors' names. Anyway, everybody fancies Chris, right?
Yeah, Thor is Thor. Yeah, so
that's it. So my mother-in-law was like, "Oh yeah, I'd like a bit of Chris." What's this? And I'd seen this before, and she goes, and I go, it's fine, but it's a little bit gruesome. It's quite actiony, There's 100%. I thoroughly enjoyed the two films, right? and my missus goes, "Oh no, she's not going to like it. She's not going to like it, right?" And obviously, this, the film starts. He's massacring everybody. I think the first one.
It's too late.
Yeah, I can't quite remember the first one. I'm sure he's in India or somewhere like that. Anyway,
I think it is. I think
he like massacres a load of people in this sort of apartment bit. Kills some guy with a rake or something. And she's like, "This isn't right." And she's watching this thing through to the end. Doesn't say a word. We get to the end, and I'm just like, "Is that all right?" She's like, "Oh, that was great. Can we watch the other one tomorrow?" And I was just
no way!
So I was,
you converted a bit. You've got
we got her. So there's my missus going. She doesn't like all of this stuff. What it is I reckon if we put Chris into any genre, she would watch it.
Yeah.
So
she'd watch it. That's right.
We need to find some super 18 rated horror movie. As long as Chris is in it, we're good to go.
Or do you know what you can do, right? And this is a bit harsh, but you tell him that he's in it, but he's coming up later in the film, and just watch the whole film.
I think it'd break her little heart though.
I know. Just say, "Oh, I thought he was in it." She wants to say, "Oh no, this is a different Chris Hemsworth."
I know. She wants to see a bit of topless Chris. Come on now.
Exactly. Oh, bloody
now that's something that ladies can do that blokes can't.
No, because if I say that, right?
Well, you could say you want to see a bit of topless Chris. I don't think your missus would mind. But if you pick a female actress,
I was just about to say, if you reverse the roles, and I said, "Oh, I want to see a topless," no, mate, I'm getting in trouble. Oh man,
you'll be in the doghouse for the next 2 months. But
that's it exactly.
Topless Chris,
bloody
love it.
I think that's the title of our pod sorted this week. Get those lady viewers in. Oh, my
but you can't promise it, eh? You can't promise to not deliver. So
that's true. It'll have to be like a Photoshop picture, I suppose. Oh my god.
Anyway, back to the jungle. Where did we get to?
Yeah, no, good show, mate. Honestly, good show. I'd recommend it to anyone. If anyone just wants to watch a bit of mind-numbing TV in the evenings, whack it on. It's really funny. But yeah, like I said, it only lasts a couple of weeks, so yeah, it's a bit of a car crash TV, mate. Just like one of those, typical run-of-the-mill shows that are quite entertaining. It's just crazy what they do, man. Honestly, I every week the trials just get more crazier and crazier. It's unbelievable. I'll tell you what they did. So there's do you know Frankie Dettori,
Yep.
the legendary jockey? So he came in this week, and he came in as a coach, they call it, but it was for a task. So did a boxer called Tony Bellew, a Scouse boxer from Everton.
Yep.
Right. He's retired now. Really good boxer. But they were hired as coaches for the campmates. So they split the campmates into two teams, and they were and Bellew was the team coach for one, and Dettori was a team coach for the other side. They had to race against each other, right? And you wouldn't believe this. So there was a box of pigs' testicles, and they had to get the pig's testicles to the other side of the little it's like a little circuit where they got to like jump over, jump under, balance on a plank, and then drop the pig's testicles in the box. The only problem is they couldn't use their hands, so they had to use their mouth. So at the beginning of the race, they had to put their head into a box of pig's testicles, put it in their mouth, and then do the course, and then drop it in a box. How's that for a flipping welcome to the jungle? Do you know?
That's the one up on Apple Bobbin, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah, exactly that, yeah. Oh, candied testicles.
Yeah, get a little bit of toffee on the top, just
yeah, make it bearable. No, it's terrible, mate, honestly. Speaking of which, right, I know it's not the jungle, but let me just tell you what happened. So my next neighbour has a cat, and the cat loves to come round to ours, like literally jumps on our garage roof, comes down to a garden, harmless, it's cute. And my dad's really taken a liking to the cat. Like he sees it every morning, he sees it in the evening. It even come to the point where it would meow every time we walk in and out the garden, right? So my dad was like, oh, JT, can you find out why cats meow at you? And then I googled it, and it said like they're looking for attention, they want some food or something to drink, right? So my dad ended up buying some cat food. So my dad's he loves his cat now, right? So he comes every day, chills out in our garden, not causing anyone any harm. When it was summertime, it would be just lying on our grass. Not a problem, mate. Absolutely fine. 2 days ago, I come back from work and I'm going into the garden, and the cat is not normally in the corner where he likes to sit. He's made like a little, that's his space kind of thing, right? Not a problem. So I look for him. Every time I come outside, I look for him. He's not there. I start walking towards the garage, and I see the cat on the grass in front of me, but he's in like in a weird position. Yep. Like he's looking at me, but he's on all fours, like with his rear legs kind of bent down, and I'm thinking, oh my god, are you all right? And then the light turns on, the sensor light, because obviously it's winter now, so that it gets dark quick. The sensor light turns on, and I see he's just like playing with something on the floor, and I'm thinking, what is that? I get closer, it's a fucking mouse. It's a massive mouse, mate, and he's literally killed it. And he's just playing with the body. And I was thinking, oh my fucking god, this is disgusting. Like, oh my days. I immediately like kind of ran away. I was like, oh god, mate, you do what you need to do. I'm going. And then I ring my dad. I said, Dad, look, the cat's done this. It's caught something. Oh my god, you might want to go check it out. My dad walks out. He goes, oh my god. He walks back in. And then I just told my missus. She's like, what? Oh my god, that's disgusting. I'm like, I know. So I went outside again. He's still ploughing through it. He's like literally chowing it down. Come back the next day, because we left it alone, and I said to my dad, you're picking it up. He goes, no, you're picking it up. I'm like, no, you're picking it up, right? Like, my dad is, I don't know what it is. My dad's from Africa, man. Like, he should be used to this kind of stuff, like when he was a kid, but nah, he makes me do everything. He's so scared of it. But yeah, I always tease him, like, nah, you're going to pick it up. And then in the morning, so I thought I had to go work the next day, so I remembered, oh my god, like the cat had a mouse there, like a dead mouse, and it was chewing him up and eating him, whatever, and I hope it's gone. I walk there, all that's left is a tail and the intestines. The tail and the intestines, and I was like, oh my god, how ironic. I'm watching I'm A Celeb, and they're doing all this crazy shit, and I've got that piece of like jungle in my back garden. Like, this could be a bush tucker trial.
I was gonna say, so it eating like everything else around it.
Basically, yeah. I think it had at one point. I think it just like completely like ripped it apart. Like, sorry listeners, but yeah, like it took the head off. So the head was on the side, then it was like eating the body. He said, I don't like the tail, so I chucked the tail away. Head was gone. Only thing is like the large intestine. I don't know if mice have it, but the intestine bit, he left that. He just munched everything else. I was like, oh my God. Disgusting.
It is natural, but it is gross. It reminds me, actually, when I first met my missus, she was renting a place with another lady, and they had a cat. And I can't remember if it was my missus or the lady, but in any case, one of them woke up in the night to go and get a drink or whatever, and they stood on something, and they put the light on, and it was the same as you just described there. Just like some mouse guts and stuff, just like stuck on their foot. It's just like, mate. I mean, cats are fine, but I'm not a fan of them, and I would never do this, but it always crosses my mind, because we get the same thing. We get cats and stuff into our garden, and you see those things on YouTube where people have shaved their cat and just left the fluffy head and paws. It's always crossed my mind that when they come in here and you just shave them and then kick them back out, so when they go back home
become
again,
a barber.
when they go back home, the neighbours are like, what happened to you?
What happened?
I would never do it. I'm not encouraging it, but the thought always crosses my mind.
It would be funny. Yeah, absolutely. Now, you know what it is? I googled it because I was just like, I was fascinated. I was like, oh yeah, obviously they're cats, isn't it? Cats are in the wild, in the natural habitat. They're natural born hunters. This is what they do. We watch documentaries all the time. David Attenborough, when he's talking about lions, cheetahs, all those leopards. They're from the same family. That's what they do. They hunt. They eat meat because I started googling stuff like my cat has eaten a mouse, should I be worried, or stuff like that, right? But yeah, it's just what they do. And surprisingly, right, I've read that cats are so weird. Like, if they really like you, they will try and kill something and then bring it to you as a way of affection. So they kind of just say, look, hi master, look, I've got this is for you, from me, from Santa.
Ta-da!
Yeah, like, do you like it? No, fucking get it out of here, man. What the fuck is that? Oh, mate.
I wonder if they understand that
terrible
connection, because when you see dogs like on the internet and stuff, and they've done something bad and the owner's telling them off and they've got their head down and they're looking up, like, obviously they don't understand, but they understand the emotion behind it and they're looking all sorry for themselves.
That's right.
Like when
they know what they did,
like when they ripped up some slippers, or like, I don't know, crapped on your baby or something, and they're just like, oh, I didn't do it. Right.
Sorry.
Right. Cats don't give a shit, though, do they? They bring this stuff in, you're like, what's this? And they're like, yep, that's for you.
I did that. That's for you.
You're welcome.
That's exactly how it is. Oh my God. It's weird because I see him differently now, because I thought he was just like a little, cute little cat. That's kind of like popping into our lives every now and then, or when it wants to be fed. At one point, it was getting quite fat, and I thought it was because my dad, the next door neighbours were obviously feeding him, and then my dad would feed him again, so he was getting a little bit chubby. But now he's gone back to normal, and it's just I feel like shit. Like you're a cute and cuddly little cat, right? And you don't bother anyone. Like if I click my fingers and say hello to him, he'll come and I can give him like a little pat on the head. But now I see him as like, shit, man, you're a hunter, man. You're a killer. Bloody hell. Respect.
I love the way that when you see cats, though, they go through that proper human, well, not the going out and hunting thing, but the human sort of life cycle thing, where they young and nimble, they want to get out, go on an adventure, all good, and then they sort of hit middle to upper age and they get a bit fat and tubby, and then they can't fit through the cat flap, and they're just like, a friend of mine had a cat and he got a bit chubby, right, and all you heard about, it was like sort of 10 o'clock at night, was just this bang on it, he could get his head through, and the rest of his body was kind of wedged halfway. It took this thing about, I don't know, 45 seconds to squeeze itself through the cat flap.
No.
It's just like,
Oh, bloody hell, he's got his own version of Garfield, just loves eating. Do you know what I mean? Oh, my word. Yeah.
Speaking of...
it is funny.
No, I was going to say, speaking of wild animals, it's funny, just you talking about wild cats and stuff. Everybody talks about like lions and, big cats and things. I've only recently stumbled across honey badgers. Have you seen these things? Right.
Oh, they're pretty. Aren't they pretty lethal?
They're savage, right? They're
yeah.
I know. They look about For anyone that doesn't know, they sort of look a little bit like badgers, I guess. That's sort of close, isn't it? I don't know. But they don't give a shit. They'll just face off against
Can I just say...
They're ridiculous.
They don't care. Can I just say, the person that named this animal, you failed terribly at this.
I know.
You've called it a honey badger, right? And you're thinking a cute little cuddly thing. No, mate. It's like lethal.
I know. But it's funny, isn't it? Because you look at all these like superhero characters and they've all got these big names and things, and then kids are like lions. And you're like, you want to be a honey badger? Yeah. It's a ridiculous name.
Oh, 100%. Unbelievable.
I saw this thing the other day. I think it was one facing off against. It's like 3 lions or cheetahs or something or other. And it's just like, this thing is mental. Absolutely mental.
To have the balls to do that. Bloody hell.
I know. Absolutely. It was like the person you were saying about naming, but it's like the person that named the grizzly bear, and I think it's the brown bear, isn't it? So the grizzly bear sounds terrifying, but the brown bear is much bigger and more gnarly. It's something like
that's it. Yeah, that's exactly that. But yeah, just call him Brown Bear. And what we'll do is we'll put him in a story with Goldilocks, and we'll make it really sweet.
Yep.
Bloody hell! Imagine being confronted by a brown bear. They're like 8-9 feet tall. They weigh like flipping 300 pounds. No, more than that, 400 pounds. And one swipe and you're dead. Oh God. Do you know what's really funny? I remember watching Family Guy, right? And they had done a skit about Goldilocks and the Three Bears.
Right.
And I don't know what happened, but Goldilocks was in their house trying on, eating all their food, trying their bed, but someone had locked the front door, so Goldilocks couldn't get out. So the Three Bears just murdered her straight up. It was so bad. Oh, I do love Family Guy. They take the piss out of everything. Oh, but yeah, bloody hell. Like, name the animals properly, goddammit. A honey badger, you think it's like sweet. No, it's actually flipping lethal, man. It will, I think it's got really sharp claws and it uses them like really well, really sharp teeth. Oh my God. Unbelievable stuff.
You know Wolverine from the X-Men? I reckon that's his long-lost brother. They just don't mention him that often.
Yeah. Fair enough, yeah.
It's just like Wolverine did well, but Honey Badger's his brother. Yeah. He's got the more ridiculous name. That's he's blatantly tougher than Wolverine.
That's right, but they just don't talk about him. Separate at birth, basically. Exactly. They went in their own kind of their own story. Oh my God! Interestingly enough, the only reason why I know about a honey badger is because it was a name of a gun that on a game I used to play, and I thought this is the weirdest name. Like, what is going on? Googled it. Obviously, I was googling about the gun, like how good it is in the game. But then I stumbled upon it. Yeah, it's an animal. And then I watched a mini video. Oh my God! I think it was like, I think it's in Asia somewhere, right? I think that's where they're from. And it was going against an animal that was like almost, honestly, twice the size of it, right? If it went up to it, and you would think like it would be intimidated by the size. No, but it killed it. It killed a creature that was twice its size and was quite big. Oh my God, mate. Lethal, absolutely lethal.
Did you say it was a gun in the game? Is that?
Yeah, it was a gun in the game. Yeah, it's called the honey badger, and it was actual gun. But then I realised, like, why is that a gun? That's so weird. Yeah. But it's because the actual animal itself is bloody crazy. So was that proper savage?
Was that like the noisy cricket from Men in Black? You know, that tiny little thing that Will Smith had. He shot it and it fired him back about 20 foot in the air.
Yeah, a little bit like that, you know what I mean? You think it sounds all lovely, but it's absolutely not. Oh, bloody hell.
Speaking of this week, I was back in the office. You know, we used to do our couple of days in the office.
Great times.
For anyone that doesn't listen, sort of, we work from home, but a little bit hybrid. I don't know, whatever the business does, it sort of changes week to week. But anyways, sitting at home by yourself, quiet, just doing work, you forget all the noises from the office that you used to sort of drown out when you were in there. And I was sitting in the office this week, and there was a new lady that came back, and I forgot how hard she smashed her keyboard when she typed. Honestly, it's like, we got nice soft like laptop keyboards where you press the buttons, you can barely hit it. Somehow she was just like, I was like, what are you doing?
This is the thing, mate. These keyboards that we got nowadays, right? They are literally, you press them and you can't hear anything. I think they're called silent keyboards. So for her to actually make a lot of noise, she must be slamming the shit out of those keys, man.
It's funny because I've been on a couple of calls with her, and you know you're not really supposed to work when you're on a call, but blatantly people do.
Yeah.
You can hear it. All I can hear in the background is like banging on the keyboard. We all know who this is. And went into the office. She sits like maybe 2 or 3 rows over from me, and I'm just like,
so far away.
how is this louder than the rest of the people in the office? What are you doing? But yeah, I think she's going to need a new keyboard at some point.
Oh, exactly. She's going to the way she's going, she's going to need one every week. Bloody hell, smashing through the keyboards. Oh my God. I remember when I was working, we were working there. I think everyone was there. I think someone was really surprised at my speed of typing, and they're just like, "Bloody hell, how quick do you type?" And I was just like, "I don't know. I've really never really measured myself." And they're like, "Yeah, bloody hell, you are almost typing as quick as I can speak." I was like, "Really?" But you know what it was? I remember when I was a kid, right? When I had my computer, I would type in the dock. And this is before like we'd done any typing lessons or anything like that. I just kind of memorized exactly where each letter was, and I would genuinely just type in the dark, and it was absolutely fine. I remember when my dad saw me one day, right? He came into my room, and I was doing some work, and all the lights were off, and he turned the light on. He said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm working." He goes, "How are you working? The lights are off." I said, "I can type in the dark." He goes, "What?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Show me." So he stood next to me, turned the light off, and I showed him the Word document that I was typing, and I said, "Look, give me a sentence." And he goes, "Okay." Said a sentence. I just typed it out perfectly. His mind was blown. Like, he could not fathom what I was just doing. He thought this was like some crazy skill, like only that his son could do. Like, it was. I was like, "Nah, Dad, it's just memory." And yeah, you just get a feel of it, and you realise, like, what your keyboard is like. The space, all keyboards are slightly different, but practically, the lettering's all the same. So yeah, I just figured to learn like exactly where it was. But yeah, I'll tell you a funny story though. Oh my God! So I was working from home, and IT in my new company decided to send me some IT software home. So monitors, keyboard, mouse. Right, no problem. Open up the keyboard, plug it in. Open up the mouse, plug it in to the dock. Right, the docking station. So then I'm typing, and I'm making so many mistakes. I'm like, what is going on here? My password's not going in correctly. And once I finally get through my password, my emails are not typing correctly. I'm like, what is going on? Am I really having a bad day or something? What's going on? I turn the light on, because obviously I was working in the dark as per usual, like with minimal light, to be fair. I have a look, and the keyboard it said on the box, German, Swiss, French. Right? I was like, what does that even mean? So I turned the light on, I had a look at my keyboard, and I swear to God's sake, all the letters were jumbled up. It was like crazy. I thought it was a worldwide thing where you have the keyboard is like uniform for everyone. It's not. On this German keyboard, you got QWERTY in the top line. So QWERTY. This one had something like ZWERTY. So the Q and the Z were inverted, and there was a few other, like, where the numbers were in different locations. That the symbols, like exclamation mark, were like, oh my God, mate, it was an absolute mess. And I didn't realise until like 2 hours into doing some work. It was so bad.
What was that? Find, replace on all the Q's and Z's.
Yeah, like, do you know, it sounded like I was typing in Polish, because I kept typing words with Z everywhere. Like, it was, oh bloody hell!
That way you sent that off to your German colleague, and he's like, "This guy's now German."
Yeah, like, oh my God, he said he couldn't speak it 2 days ago, but now he's on point. This is great. Oh mate, I emailed IT and I said, look, send me an all keyboard. This is stupid. They're like, yeah, cool. So they sent it back the next day. Oh bloody hell!
No, I was going to say
But going back to the office, mate.
No, I was going to say I'm nowhere near you. I can type okay, sort of touch typing, but nowhere near you. But I'm definitely a one up on my dad, who does one finger right-handed typing.
That's a dad thing.
It's so painful to watch him type.
Yeah, 100%. Does he use his phone the same way?
I think he must do. Yeah.
Yeah, so he grabs his phone in his left with his right finger. He's just scrolling up, down, one type per letter. Do you know?
The power of the one finger.
Yes, mate, absolutely. That's a dad thing. Mum and dad do it the exact same way. Honestly, it's so funny. It's so funny. Whereas, like, we're using our thumbs, and I'm using swipe, so I'm not even lifting my finger off the bloody keyboard, because I'm joining the words, right? Yeah, my dad will be like, hello, how are you? Do you know what I mean? It must be a dad thing.
Definitely a dad thing. Yeah, it's the reluctance to take on technology. Well, you could speak into your phone now, so that would be it.
My dad uses Google all the time. He'll say, "Hey Google," and he'll say the most ridiculous thing. I remember one time, like, my dad asked me to do something on his phone, which made me needed to go to Google, right? And when you go to Google and you hit the search bar, it comes up with your last kind of I don't know, 10 searches what you did. My dad was saying the most ridiculous stuff. He was searching for the most ridiculous stuff on Google by using his voice. There was one where this made me laugh really badly. There was one where he obviously said, "Hey Google," right? And he my phone's bloody turned on there. He said that.
Oh,
right?
it started.
Yeah.
I heard a gong then. It sounds like you're in a Tibetan temple or something. Oh, no. We nearly made it through a whole episode without breaking anything.
I think we can let that go. That's all right. That's all right. Oh, but I remember my dad, basically what he did was he said the term, right? And then he must have thought it didn't say the term. So then he said it again. So now Google was searching up, hey Google. And then everything he said after that, like saying, oh, bloody hell, the phone's not working, blah, 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 must have gone on for like 30 seconds. All that got typed into the search bar. So he's having a conversation in the search bar using his voice.
Brilliant.
Oh, my God. Dad, man, he's brilliant. I swear to God.
My missus was showing me something the other day. I can't remember what it was on. I'm sure it was... I want to say it was on YouTube Shorts or something like that, but she was showing me on her phone, and apparently you can say like swipe or next or something like that on it, and it would just flick to the next video or whatever it is. But she goes, la.
Yeah.
I just discovered this thing, and she's like, next. It's not doing anything. Next. She's like shouting at this phone. It was working.
That's the worst. When you want to show people something, right, and it doesn't work, yeah.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Then you get frustrated at it. It's not working, no? Oh my God.
The funny thing is, I knew what she was trying to do, but I just played it naive. I thought, what are you trying to do? Why are you just shouting at your phone? You're being ridiculous.
Yeah. You got to play dumb. Oh, bloody hell, mate. Yeah, go back to the office. You know what? It's surreal. I mean, we got so used to working at home, right? And it's like so relaxed. It's like you don't have to get changed. You don't have to put on nice clothes. You can just sit in your pajamas, sit in your tracksuits and just work. Not a problem. But like going back to the office was so surreal. I remember after COVID, like going back to the office was weird. It was like everyone was a little bit nervous. Yep. Everyone was so used to working from home. It was like the day felt even longer. Like more energy was taken out of you. People were more probably concerned with hygiene, so people weren't really shaking hands anymore, which was quite interesting. They were like using their elbows and just giving each other the nod. But yeah, it's small things, right? So when you're working at home, you're essentially working alone, and you only communicate with someone on Teams, on Zoom, Skype, that kind of stuff, right? You're messaging them. People try and avoid phone calls if they can. If they can just send you an instant message, they will, right? That's the kind of culture we have now. And I remember going back, and it was just like people suddenly remembered that you can't just go into a conversation and ask what you want straight away. You have to do the small talk. Yep. On Instant Messenger, all you got to say is, I'll be like, "Hi, Si, how you doing? Yeah, good, mate. Okay, thanks. Could you look into this? Or could you, do you know what I mean? Right, straight to the point. Whereas in the office, it's like small talk has to be a thing. You can't just walk up to someone and ask them to do something straight away. It's like, someone, like Susan will walk up to me and just be like, "Oh, hi Jay, how you doing? Yeah, good. How's your mum and dad? All good. Yeah, it's cold outside, isn't it? My God, it's getting chilly now. Oh, it's raining outside. Yeah. Oh, how's things? Oh, yeah, okay. By the way, could you send me those financial reports from the quarter last year? Would that be like?" I'm like, you know what? You don't have to do the small talk, Susan. Just bloody get on with it. Let me know if say hello. Fine. Say how you doing? Absolutely fine. Right. Let's talk to business. Let's get down to business now.
Yeah, I know.
What the fuck do you want, Susan? Do you know what I mean? Oh, but yeah, I found that quite funny because I think people I definitely think people kind of lost that a little bit. Like when they're working from home, I know some companies like encouraged everyone to have like an hour where they could just talk to their teammates on webcam, just for people's well-being. For people that don't speak to people regularly, completely get it. But now that we're back in the office, like it's crazy. You don't have to do the small talk anymore. Like if I don't really know you well, and we're absolutely polite to each other, yeah, say hello, say how you doing, yeah, all good, thank you. You don't have to find something for us to connect. Just let me know what you need. It's fine. Just as you would on Teams, just let me know what you need. And vice versa. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I need to do it now, which is weird. So I would have to go to someone. I'd have to make a joke. I'd have to, talk about bloody, oh, yeah, it's cold outside, yeah. Bloody computer's freezing today, isn't it? Typical IT. I'd have to make a bloody joke before I have to ask about what's going on. Oh, mate. I realise that's one thing I realised that going back to the office, man. Absolutely crazy.
Do you know, the funny thing is, and this is probably something you don't know about me, is that I don't mind obviously chatting to people and everything all day long, but I'm not really a people person. Just generally speaking. I know. Well, this is what everybody says, right? I'm not.
Oh man, when I first met you, Si, I didn't think you across like, you know what I mean. I know. I thought you were really chilling. That's why me and you got along so well. Like we sat. If anyone that doesn't know, me and Si essentially sat back to back. Right, he was right behind me. But every time we went to the office, which wasn't that frequent, it was like, what was it, once a month, wasn't it? That we were going to the office. Like we'd spend the whole day just talking about stuff, like all the time.
Yep.
Never get any work done. Oh, I enjoyed it though. But yeah, it was just like yeah, if someone said something, we were almost looking for a reason to stop working and start speaking to each other. So,
but yeah, just knowing that.
Not people person.
Well, I don't know what it is actually. It's just that I'm quite comfortable with the. You know, you were saying people coming up to you, just going, "Hi, can I have those reports?" I'm down with that. No I'm quite happy with that. You know, you want to tell me about your kids, no problem. But I don't know. I don't know your kids. But yeah,
looking for something to connect. Like, do you know what it is? It's weird, right? I say that with it, like, you know, with a smile on my face, because people do want to be polite, right? They don't want to come in and like talk business straight away. But I think where it gets a bit weird is if you don't know the person too well. So, and I get the only way that you can get them to know you better is obviously if they talk to you a little bit more and that kind of stuff. Absolutely fine, not a problem with that. But I just find it's a little bit weird, like people that it became a pattern. So in various places I've worked, right, after COVID, I know that this person's walking towards me and I know that they're going to want something, but they have to do the small talk. They feel like they have to do the small talk in order to get that stuff from me. It's like they kind of feel like if they came up to me and just said, you know, "Hi JT, how you doing? Yeah, good, thank you. Basically, can I get this?" It's like I'm going to be like, "No." What do you mean? You have to take me to dinner first or something, like you have to like ask me about my day. Like you can't just have this. Like no, man, we're colleagues. It's absolutely fine. If you want it, ask for it. I'll do it. You know what I mean? But yeah, I feel like I do feel like people like feel like it's their duty to have a bit of small talk before they ask you for a favour, and it's so blatant when it happens as well. You got people that are from the other side of the office that have no business being in your vicinity that are coming to talk to you and they want something, but they feel the need they have to do the small talk.
You know, working from home, it's strange because I really like, you know, I'm a big fan of it, and I appreciate the argument that you know, you should go to the office, and I get it if you've got a physical job and you physically have to do something, or you know, if there's some collaboration that perhaps needs to happen. But the other side of it is, have you noticed that when you're working from home, if somebody wants something, they will just ask for it? Yeah, no problem. Yeah,
right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's my whole point.
Yeah, great. But when you go to the office, because you're just there, people's autonomy to go and do things for themselves just disappear because they'll just lean over the desk, and you're like, and it's that thing where they know you don't know the answer either, but you can go off and do it, and they just can't be bothered. But when they're sitting at home, they then can be bothered because you never hear questions from those people unless you're in the office.
They've got no choice.
I know.
They've got
so
no
they
choice.
just figure it out for themselves.
Yes. Exactly. That, it's that. You know what? That's actually spot on. That is absolutely spot on. It's so weird. It is really weird. I think when you're at home, you've got no choice but to kind of crack it yourself. And like I said, Google's your friend. I mean, what is there on Google that you can't like figure out? You know, any mundane little task. If you get stuck on Excel, YouTube, Excel, how do I do this? Bang, you got it. You Google it, you'll get the answer. Whereas at work, it's almost like you're almost showing that you're doing something, but you need someone else to guide you through it or do it for you. It's weird. It's really weird.
Isn't it? Yeah, isn't it? Yeah, we are in a funny place. But yeah, coming off the back of what you were saying about COVID, it wasn't just the going back into the office though, because everybody was off. It was the fact that okay, you couldn't breathe on people because you all had to wear masks. You couldn't touch anybody because you had to have the social distances.
Yes.
You couldn't see anybody because you could only stay to your own household. You couldn't go anywhere.
That's right.
So it wasn't just the fact that you were working from home, or if you were that lucky, because you know, I didn't have that luxury. But it's it was just a strange time. It was just really weird.
It really was. Honestly, it was a really weird time. And I just remember, I mean, we could probably do a whole episode on COVID. It was weird. I remember the first week that I got told to work from home because of, you know, COVID hit. And my manager was like, literally, me and my manager were the last ones to leave the office. Like, she really did not want to do it at all. Like, I think she was either scared or like, she's not very good with IT, first of all. So at work, everything's provided for you, right? Yeah. Everything's there. You just plug in your laptop and you're there to go. Whereas at home, I think she was getting a bit scared. Like, how do I connect to the internet? How do I connect to a monitor? Simple things that, they're not really hard, but they can be hard to people that never experienced that kind of stuff or had to do that kind of stuff, right? So she was very reluctant to work from home. But I remember like the whole office had emptied and me and her just sitting there and I'm like, shall we go now? Because we've been told we have to work from home. She was just like, yeah, if we just wait a few hours and then we'll go. I said, okay. Then I looked behind me, everyone's out. Everyone is gone, mate. And I was thinking, oh, come on, let's just go. Look, we've been told we have to work from home for further notice. Let's just go. Wasn't having it. But then eventually when she started working from home, she loved it. I was like, oh my God, like, you didn't have to wait that long for us to go. But what I was saying was, I remember for the first week, right, I didn't leave my house at all. The threat was high. News was saying it's super transmissible. Don't touch stuff, don't go near people, don't breathe, wear masks, all that kind of stuff. And I remember my mum, she was getting a bit stir crazy. She's like, oh, should we go for a walk? And I was like, nah, I'm all right. I'm happy to just sit at home. I don't have to go anywhere, to be fair. I'm loving this. I got everything I need. Entertainment-wise, I got movies, I got TV shows, I've got games. I was sorted, mate. I was absolutely fine. But then my mum said, come on, you haven't been at the house for like a week. I was like, yeah, I know, we're not allowed to go out. She goes, let's just go for a walk. You're allowed to go for a walk, right? I was like, right, cool. So I went outside, waited for my mum. But aside, this was one of the most like ominous feelings I've ever had in my life. I went outside and everything just seemed still. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It was so weird. It just felt like I walked outside my driveway and I just turned to the road and I'm looking up the road and you can see the main road. It's like, I don't know, about 150, 200 feet away from where I live. And it just felt weird. Like, you can tell there was... like something's definitely happening. Like, people are not out. It was eerie silence. It was just, and it wasn't just me watching TV and we're being told, all this like, bad news. Yeah, don't stand next to people. Don't touch any door handles and don't breathe anything in. All that kind of stuff. But yeah, I walked out and I was just like, my God, this is crazy. It wasn't just because I'd been home for 7 days, because I'm pretty sure in my lifetime I've definitely been home for like 7 days, like in a row. It's not a problem, right? But yeah, like it was just, oh man, super eerie, absolutely eerie. And then me and my mum went for a walk, for about 10-minute walk. Then we came back, and I was just thinking, that was weird. That was super, super weird.
Yeah, no, it was strange. Was a strange time. I had to go around to my folks for a particular reason, and I remember driving there. Like, I think I saw one car on the entire journey. It was like ghost town, and it was just it was crazy. It was just such
where
a
I live,
weird
we've got
time.
a main road, and that's always busy. Yeah, it's always busy, right, mate? And you could. When I went to the top of the road, mate, honestly, it was like one car every 5 minutes. Absolutely crazy. People weren't even driving, and people only went out at certain times to go get groceries and stuff. So, but yeah, no, it was mental times. Yeah, but like I said, we could actually we could talk about our COVID experiences, because that would be quite funny. What happened to each one of your family members? Did they do something weird, or did they pick up a hobby? Because I'm not gonna lie, a few things happened in COVID where people found some talents out. Like so many small businesses opened up in COVID that are actually thriving today, where people can leave their main job, which is mental, right? Because you're never going to get that opportunity again. God forbid. But yeah, you're never going to get that opportunity again where you had no responsibilities, you didn't have to work, you were on furlough, or your company was still paying you for doing minimal work, and people managed to find some hidden talents they used to have.
Yes, I mean, that's the positive spin to it. Obviously, there was a lot of silliness going on, and redundancies and all the other fun stuff that happened in the background. I don't want this to come across as everything was happy days and cheery times. But no, I 100% get what you're saying, and it was a very, let's say, unique time.
It was absolutely 100% unique. I don't think we'll experience it again. But
fingers crossed.
Redundancies is always. Exactly that. But yeah, that will lead on to our conspiracy podcast one day where we talk about this stuff. Weird. That'll be interesting.
We'll be wary of this one, because we get kicked off of every platform.
Absolutely. If we get too close to the truth, we might disappear, man. Bloody hell, so we've got to be careful. Oh my word. Talking about cleanliness, though, I heard there's been some interesting office chatter in your on your.
This was another story I was telling you earlier.
This is a good point. By the way. Yeah, this is good. Yeah.
So we were sitting there chatting, and the topic came up of would you have a house cleaner? I think it's because in another country we were talking about just there as standard. Okay, I can't remember which country it is, but anyway, so we don't. That's generally not
probably.
a thing in the UK unless you've got a little bit of money behind you. But I was talking to this lady. She was saying to me about it, and I was like, yeah, of course I would if I could afford it and whatnot. That would be great. Who wouldn't want someone to tidy up after them? Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
But she goes, no, I couldn't do it because then I would have to tidy up before the cleaner came round. And I was like, what? Isn't that the point? Is this not the point, right? But then it got me thinking about the exact conversation with that I had with my missus. Okay, so last year at some point, our toilet blocked, right? As you can imagine, 4 people in the house, blocked toilet. It didn't look or smell great. Okay,
it's going to go crazy. It's going to be absolutely crazy.
That's as far as I'm going with the gruesomeness of the toilet. But okay, so we called out the I don't know, plumber or whatever they are, the pipe cleaner guys. Anyway, so my missus is there sort of cleaning up the bathroom, and I'm like, no, it wasn't dirty. It was just like, a bit of dust or something. I'm like, what are you doing? It's like, I'm just sort of cleaning up. I was like, you got a guy coming around who's literally going to suck shit out of the toilet, and you're worried about a dusty windowsill. I was like, you're insane. She goes,
it is so true. It's true, mate. Oh my word. That is bloody hell. Yeah, exactly. So this guy is literally going to be elbow deep in shit, like within minutes. But you're kind of scared, like, yeah, exactly. The sink might be have a bit of dust on it, or the floor's a little bit dusty, something's out of place. No, he won't care about that stuff. He's not going to go back and think, bloody hell, Steve, you wouldn't believe the amount of dust on that windowsill. Jeez. Anyway, I've reached my arm in there and I really got this piece of shit out stuck in there. He's not going to care. He's absolutely not going to care.
No. Of all the tradesmen you could get into your house, worry about the cleanliness.
He is not one of them. He or she is not one of them.
Not going to care. They're really not going to care.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, it just got me thinking, because I was like, yeah, my missus would definitely do that. She'd definitely go around the house, put everything away, tidy everything up. The cleaner would come in, just get the Hoover out the cupboard, put it back again and get paid for it.
Do you know what? I said this to my mum as well. So my mum said the same thing, right? So she, so one day I think we were all in the house. We were having a bit of a lazy weekend. Like none of us wanted to do anything. I think it was like a rainy day. It was a cold day. Everyone was just comfy, and my mum just started complaining, like, "Oh, come on, guys, let's clean the house." Everyone's like, "Oh, we'll do it later." You know, that kind of attitude where you don't want to do anything. Then my mum just snapped. She goes, "Oh, that's it. I'm going to get myself a cleaner because obviously I'm the only one that's cleaning the house, and no one else can be bothered." We were just like, "Mum, we cleaned a few days ago. Don't worry about it." But she's like, "No, I'm going to get a cleaner." And then my sister made a good point. She goes, "Mum, even if you get a cleaner, you're just going to clean before the cleaner gets here anyway."
Yep.
You don't want the cleaner to have a bad impression of you, so I know you're going to basically come in, you're going to put everything back in its place, and then what the hell is the point of having a cleaner? It doesn't make any sense.
I know. And can you imagine?
What is about the embarrassment?
Yeah, and can you imagine the cleaner? So the cleaner goes to her or his cleaner friends and goes, "Can you believe I went into a dirty house today?" What?
Yeah, no, exactly. Oh,
of course you did.
Word. It's not going to make any difference. Yeah, yeah, that's your job. Yeah, imagine. That must be a cleaner's delight. Like you walk into a house and everything's been cleaned. All you got to do is minimal work and get paid. I don't know, God knows, 20, 30, 40, 50 quid an hour. Crazy.
I don't know what the rate is, but yeah,
that's like a dream. That's like a dream.
50 quid an hour? What? I'm becoming a cleaner if that's the rate.
Absolutely.
Do you need a cleaner? I will come round. 50 quid an hour. I'm in. You just sign me up.
Yeah, that's it. You just let me know what you need and I'll do it, man. Honestly, 50 quid an hour? Oh, absolutely. Bloody yeah. That's crazy. We might have to get Chris Hemsworth topless to do some cleaning. Bring up the female clients.
Only if you want my mother-in-law. They're watching. That's a kink I don't want to know about.
Absolutely. Oh man. Yeah, no, that was quite a funny topic to be fair. I think it's weird, isn't it? Like people get embarrassed, they get house embarrassed. Like they don't want. That's like a new term that's been flying around the last couple of months, where people feel embarrassed about their home, so they want to change it or clean it and stuff. But yeah, like before you call the cleaner for the first time, like, I know people are definitely going to clean before a cleaner comes in, and that's really weird, because that completely defeats the purpose of hiring someone to clean your house. Keep it the way it is, because it's not sustainable. First of all, if you're going to clean, you might as well not have a cleaner. First of all, that's number one. Number two, what is the point of having a cleaner if you're going to clean your house before they come? It doesn't make any sense. Let them walk into the madness and, let them sort it out, and you'll be happier for it.
Maybe this is how you troll your missus the next time she says something. Yeah.
That's right.
So you're just like, just to let you know, I've got to go out later, but I've booked a cleaner to come in. So she does all the cleaning.
Yeah.
Oh, no, she had to cancel. And then you wait till the next week. Oh, yeah, so I've rebooked her for this week, so your missus runs around, does all the cleaning.
That's
she
right.
She might catch on after a month, and then you'll be sitting on this with a black eye. But
Yeah, exactly. And then I think one day she'll call my bluff and no one turns up, and I'll be like, "Why is the house cleaned?" She'll be like, "I'm on to you." I knew it.
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't know what it is. I think it's like people probably feel a bit embarrassed that they. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, because if it was me, I would just let the cleaner do exactly what they've hired to do. Clean. Sorry, I made a mess. But, you're here to sort it, and I'll pay you for it, not a problem. But I think some people probably feel like, I can't have the cleaner judge me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, that's their job. They're here to clean. Don't worry about it.
I always get, because obviously we've got a couple of kids running around, and, we do the tidy up sort of in the evening a little bit. And just as soon as somebody unexpected taps on your door, you're like, "Oh, what have we left out?" what is this? Yeah. Just putting stuff away just before you open the door. Yep.
Do you know what's really funny, actually, saying that, right? When someone, I don't know if this is the same at your house, but when someone unexpectedly knocks up at your door or rings the doorbell, next time try and look at everyone's face, because everyone is bemused. Like, everyone looks at each other like, "Who's that? Did you call someone? Is there some food coming? Well, like, what's going on at this hour?" Like, everyone is suspicious of everyone and everything around them. I noticed this the other day. I think someone knocked up about 10 p.m. right at our house, and I locked eyes with my dad. My dad locked eyes with my mum. My mum locked eyes with my missus. My missus locked eyes with my sister, and we're just like, "What's going on here? Like, do you know who that is? Who could that be at this time?" Like, we're all asking you these questions, and no one's gone to answer the door. Like, it's so ridiculous. Like, oh my god, it was literally our next neighbour. Like, it was our neighbour in the end. Like, I think they just wanted to give back something they borrowed, but it was just like everyone just became suspicious of each other. So next time, right, if someone unexpectedly knocks up at your door and you're in a group of people, like say your family, your friends, your housemates, and no one knows who it is, just look at everyone's face. It's absolutely fucking hilarious. I swear to God, everyone becomes suspicious of everyone. The questions come out like, "Did you order something? Do you know who that is? Who could that be?"
Well, because nobody answers the door for people anymore. Well, this is it. So, like, you've got the Amazon folks that knock on the door, where you can just answer the door whenever you want.
Right.
Whenever you want.
Yeah.
Somebody trying to sell something, well, I don't care. You can knock and go away. Was it Jehovah's Witnesses? Usually they're knocking on the doors, and you just like hide behind the couch and wait for them to disappear. That's about it, really, isn't it?
I think delivery food
but
delivery
you expect
people,
that, you get slots for those
charities.
Things.
Oh yeah, no, of course, you're told about those. Absolutely, you get charities that sometimes knock up as well. But yeah, or you got like people coming to ask if your car's for sale because it's so old. That's happened to me a few times. I'm like, "No, that's my car. It's still okay."
We had a really weird one a couple of years back. It was like maybe like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and no, it must have been further along. Must have been further back than that, because we'd recently moved into this place, and like the police were knocking on the door at like 3 o'clock in the morning. And weirdly, my mother-in-law was still around, and they're like banging on the door. So I kind of looked out the window to see who it was. And I must have looked super suspicious, because I looked out the window. So I didn't have the keys to the front door with me, so I kind of looked out the window, and then had to go back for the keys. And they started banging on the door again. Right? So I opened the door like, "What do you want?" You do at 3 o'clock in the morning. Then they're like, "Oh yeah, we're after such and such." And I'm like, "Well, I don't know who that is. They don't live here." It's like, "Are you sure about that?" And I'm like, "Well, I definitely know who's in the house, and they ain't here." And I get that, and this conversation went on for about 10 minutes, and I'm like, "Look, I don't know who you're after, but they're not here." Okay.
Oh my god, mate! You know what? That happened to me once, right? It was a similar time. It was very late at night. Everyone had gone to sleep, and obviously, I was I used to stay up quite late. So, but even this was late for me. I think it must be about 3:30 in the morning. Our doorbell's going off. Everyone's upstairs sleeping, right? And my room is closest to the road, right? So I'm in the front room basically. And I look outside and there's a policeman. So I'm thinking, what the hell's going on here? And I was thinking of either shouting from the window or actually going down. In the end, I thought, no, I better go down. So, I got out of bed, got ready, put my clothes on and walked down. And this guy is constantly banging he's ringing the doorbell and banging on the door. I'm thinking, you plonker, you're waking everyone up. What's going on? It's like during the week on a Tuesday or something like that. I opened the door and I said, you're right, officer? And then he started saying, oh, you took a bit of time getting to the door. I'm like, yeah, it's fucking 3:30 in the morning.
I'm in my pants.
You just woke me up. He's asking stupid questions. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I think I was wearing shorts and I was wearing I just chucked on a shirt over my body and and I was like, how do you have the audacity to say I took long to get the door, mate? It's fucking 3:30 in the morning. Like, what do you expect me to do? And just baffling. What a stupid thing to say to someone that you just disturbed during the night, and you're banging on the door and you scared everyone half to death. Because I see my dad peeking down the stairs, like he's peeking from the top of the stairs, like asking me if anything was right. I'm like, yeah, this is just officers asking for something. I can't for the life of me remember what it was, but I think it was something so mundane, like it wasn't even that important, but obviously important to them. Like, something happened here. Did you see something? I was like, no, mate, I've been asleep. Like, no, I didn't even hear a sound. What's going on here? But yeah, asking stupid questions at that time in the morning.
Well, God. That was similar to the guy that I had. After maybe 10 minutes of back and forth of that, as I say, are they here? No, I'm not here. Are you sure they're not here? No, they're not here. It's like, well, you snuck a look out the window. It's like, yeah, because I want to know who's banging on the door at 3 a.m. I don't want to get murdered.
Stupid question, right? But honestly. And then that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like,
and then,
if you just come up to me and just said, hi, mate, I'm really sorry for disturbing you, right? We've had some reports or something in the air. I would have been absolutely, okay, mate, no problem, okay. All right, you've woken me up. It's for a good reason. No problem. But saying, hey, you took your time opening the door. Shut up, man. Fucking idiot. Oh, God. Oh, that's sorry. What
to be fair, I might be cranky at 3 o'clock in the morning if I was working that shift as well. But waking people up. But anyway, this guy, after like 10 minutes, I think the other officer, if I remember, the other officer came out because she'd walked off to go and check something in the car and come back and said, they don't live here anymore. No, it's just like,
oh my God. After all that, why couldn't they do that before? Before the door? I know. Make sure your information is correct, man. My word.
But yeah, so that made me chuckle. It didn't make me chuckle. Now I think about it, it made me chuckle. At the time I was a bit annoyed because I had to get out of work.
Time, you'll be fuming. Absolutely, you'll be fuming. And they'd probably wake up the kids, the missus. It's just not good. It's not ideal, is it? Not ideal.
No.
Oh my word, mate. And it's a wrap for episode 8 of the JTS 51 podcast. Thank you so much, guys, for listening. We really do appreciate your ears and your time for listening to the show. Thank you from me and my co-host, Sai. We'll see you next week.
Take care, everyone. We'll catch you next time.
Boo!
Thank you for listening to the JTS 51 podcast. For more epic content, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for future episodes.